We are here live in Tucson, Arizona for the bottom bracket, I should say upper bracket men's semifinals between Rudy Cruz serving with the Carolina blue shirt. And returning the serve is Juan Santos, and now it's a quick 2-0 as they jumped in a little bit early on us here. Juan Santos wearing the kind of light green.
Sal, I was surprised at how much the players used the ceiling in big ball yesterday. A lot of ceiling shots and a lot of ceiling rallies in that quarterfinal last night between Juan Santos and Timbo. We saw the ball go into the ceiling 5, 6, 7 times in a row as guys work towards setups.
One serving 2.
Yeah, the only thing with that ball, we haven't really had much experience with this ball in the four-wall area. It's a little slower than it is in the outdoor. I think because the wooden floor kind of absorbs the bounce a little bit, but
2 serving 2.
The ceiling shot definitely does not come out anywhere near as it should. Maybe a foot less off the ceiling.
3 serving 2.
One of the biggest differences between the big ball and small ball is the serve. That you can really dominate a match with the serve with the small ball, but the big ball not so much. So what are you trying to do on the serve in terms of setting yourself up for the next shot?
I mean, unless you have a wild hop serve or something crazy, especially with the 2 serve, the short and the long capability here. You want to keep it maybe waist higher and up, and towards the left, deep, kind of like a dull shot, kind of towards the left, just to get the ball going. Because you can't, like you said, you can't really ace it. I mean, that's what I do. Just get the ball in play where it's a safe shot where they're not going to roll it on you.
So point.
And after that, just go for a setup and play defense.
You're listening to the voice of Sal Duenas, one of the Fab 4
3.
members of Big Ball Handball, giving us a little bit of the analysis, and Dave Fink here, who is going to conduct a junior clinic here shortly on these show courts. Now, there's multiple show courts at some of these facilities. This one won't necessarily have a camera live on it, but Dave, you'll be teaching some fundamentals of the game, and can you describe, you know, in between some of these shots, what you are going to be showing the youth of our future?
It's going to be a really cool clinic, and, you know, Sal Dave has helped me with a number of clinics and run clinics on his own. What we try and do is make it really fun for the kids, keep it really energetic, and keep the kids moving. So we'll show them a shot and have one of the top pros like Sal demonstrate the shot, and then go into various demonstrations for the kids, and then set up some target hitting competitions. So with the kids today, we're going to practice corner kills to targets, and also a new speed game that I've invented. No, Dave, not speed handball. Don't know where I was going there, but it's going to be a good clinic.
I too wanted to know where you're going with that, but
it was not going to be good.
I'm okay that I did not hear the rest.
I think this game is going to come down to the last 2-3 points towards the end.
Oh, replay the ball, screen ball.
That was a good call.
You know, Sal, our referee has basically volunteered himself all day to referee. I mean, I find it hard to criticize someone like that.
There must be a catch to that.
Well, there isn't, believe it or not.
What would the catch be?
Point.
What could the catch? Just give me an example
Who's
of a
the
catch. Jesse Aranda, I believe. But what could the catch be? What would be one possibility if there must be a catch to it?
He might be saying, well, maybe I'll get a free dinner, a free lunch, a free entry, something. I would think that.
Maybe a free handball or something.
Yeah, free handball.
Yeah. That's worth 6 hours of your day.
To be criticized and yelled at.
Point.
When you're actually making the right call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I predict this game going like 12, 13 to 15, something like that.
But you know, Sal, in our rule book, which you read, you're one of 3 people outside of this booth to have actually read it. Losers are required to referee, yet we haven't seen that happen one time yet in this event. But there's only been 110 matches so far, so not that big of a sample size to really.
Well, I mean, from a player standpoint, it's really nice to not have to be up there after you've just lost and you're just, you know, out kicking your backpack across the court and stuff, just really upset.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to just be able to
drop kicking it.
Yeah. You know, it's just nice to not have to be there.
Oh, I think you deserve to be up there after you lose, and I think you should be there. I don't even think you should be allowed to change your shirt. But players know going in, if I lose, I'm reffing. It's not like you have amnesia, do you? I mean, You know, it's just part of the tournament. But I digress.
I mean, these guys are sparring partners. We play 2-3 times a week. Rudy, Rudy and Juan, and among other players. And these guys know their game, each other's game like the back of their hands.
And you said that Rudy Cruz was just playing good. No, why do you think he prepared for this? His wife just had a baby about 3 nights ago.
Right.
And here he is
10
in
seconds.
Tucson, Arizona, playing in this match here and doing very well.
I mean,
how do you prepare
Time
when you
in.
know that your wife could have a baby at any time?
we talked about that too when we were leaving.
Scores 8, serving 6.
He told us, I'm going in with the mentality that I want to just win everybody, and he's actually,
replay
walking
the
the walk.
ball. Hit your ball.
So let me get this straight. Rudy's wife just had a baby 3 days ago?
Yeah, 3 days ago.
6.
And I mean, in fact, he said that yesterday.
They found out there was another baby in there, and now it's twins.
No. His other daughter broke her wrist
7,
on the day we
8.
left. And you got it. We were there at the ER. They put a cast on it, and he just left. He left with us.
Yet some people in LA who had no reason not to come just decided they didn't feel like making the drive after entering 4 divisions each.
Yeah, it's been quite a day for him, but I think that he's
8,
looking at this as
serving
one of the last big ball events for the year, trying to close it out, because he might not have much time
Ever.
very soon now to really.
I thought maybe
compete.
he was trying to go for the Father of the Year award.
Well, definitely. I mean, he's won that.
Actually, a really good guy. Who's got the bigger beard?
Him or Shorty?
Or no, Zach Galifianakis.
Point. Get out.
Just wondering. I mean, I'm not really.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge your
9,
answer.
serving 8.
It's a close one there.
Let's say goodbye to Dave Fink here. It's 9-8 first game. Juan Santos. Actually, Sal, I'm very impressed that Juan's
serving
back
8.
wall game is as good as it looks like he's been doing it for a long time. And then you see Timbo Gonzalez has a complete different approach. He looks like he's never hit a ball off the back wall, yet he can still play fairly well out here.
Yeah, because the reason for that is because Timbo's front game is probably twice as good as
Points,
our front game, but our back game is twice as good as his, so it evens out.
9, serving 10.
There's a smart
Point.
shot there by Rudy to the right.
It's 10, serving 10. Point.
Now Juan's daughter had the flu for some time this week. I don't know if any of that transferred over
It's
to
11, serving 10.
Juan, and I know there's been some chatter about that, but in this game, I mean, it looks like he's playing strong and keeping the errors down to a minimum.
Well, with the flu and that sort of thing, it's bad one day, and for a couple-hour period, you feel like you're human again, and then all of a sudden it's bad again.
Yeah.
As the day gets older, it seems like, oh my gosh, I'm in full-blown flu, but then earlier in the morning, you're like, I think I can go play handball.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
And some people, I mean, like myself, I've done it a few times. You just play through it and sweat it all out, and
And make sure you get everybody else infected. That's smart.
Point.
But Rudy Cruz and Santos playing pretty strong. I noticed that the way the draws worked out, because there was a #1 seed that backed out of the tournament due to family emergency
12,
and
serving
undisclosed
11.
reasons, it really made a lot of OC versus OC, a lot of LA County versus LA County.
yeah.
Did you see that on the draw as well? Like these two guys, for example, playing each other. They play out the same park practically.
Yeah, I mean, I had a LA rival match earlier. And then I had a completely from, I played Luis Cordova. But I've seen it a few times. But like I said, this game is going down to a 1 or 2 point difference, just like I told you.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, like you said, the marquee match of the tournament.
Yeah.
And it could be really anybody.
It's anybody's game.
And right now it's the game of Rudy Cruz here. The longer he seems to keep the rally going, the better chance he has. Seems like he was fooled on that back wall, but
I think-
Santos just missed there.
Yeah, it looks like Juan's trying to finish the game as soon as possible, and Rudy's trying to get him frustrated with the movement. So, see what happens here.
Well, we're tied at 12. We're going to 15. You have to win by 1 here, but every single point matters. And practically, unless the actual play is stopped due to a hinder or a screen or contact or bad bounce or one of those type of things, it's actually going to be a point on the scoreboard every single time it ends.
Right.
I would say if we had the meter, it would be something like 44% of every play ends in a point, maybe even it's more than 50, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. The biggest difference in my favorite thing
20
about
seconds.
this event is the two serve on the long and the short on the serve after that rally.
10 seconds.
That's the best thing that I've ever seen.
And why is that? So it gives you a little bit more time to recover, or
It lets you try out and be more risky on the serve,
Go, time in.
and it results in a more interesting game. Because if you have one serve, most players tend to just play
Service.
safer, so there's not as much as excitement. You don't see those incredible serves.
Scores 12, serving 12.
I think that should be a standard on every. I know it's not that way in the small ball, but in the big ball, it's really helpful because these games go so fast, 7-8 minutes a game.
not a bad shot from Santos. This could be dangerous. See what Rudy does.
Wow, he didn't quite execute that
Well-
first one. He made it up there.
What's kind of amazes me is that Santos has seen that exact ball come to that exact position 1,000 times, and he goes and flattens that ball in the left corner. Here he leaves it up. Why is it? Because we're indoor. There's no difference. He would be hitting that exact same shot outside and hitting it 1 inch high. Why is it left up here?
I mean, that shot, it could have been a miss hit or something, but he had the good idea
Oh,
that
replay the
side
ball.
front.
Screen.
And in our previous games, he dropped that like almost a rollout side front, but it could have been a miss hit or,
13, serving 12.
there's some pressure here. I mean, nobody wants to lose this first game. The percentage of, wow, there's a nice side front from Rudy there. Huge point there.
Yeah, this is game point.
14, serving
That
12.
could have been the deciding point right there.
Oh, that was a terrible serve. But Juan did not make him pay, and Rudy didn't make him pay, and now we're still in this rally. Back to the roof. Nice shot from Rudy Cruz. That's
Wow.
a lot of brains there.
See who's ready to take the risk here.
Who's going to go down low first?
I think Rudy would since he's up and he has less pressure.
Well, who's going to overhit or miss hit? That's probably the answer. This is going to be the first one off the back wall. Juan should go for it, doesn't.
Oh, man.
Jeez, look at Rudy.
Oh, shoot. Wow.
Get out. Point.
Well, I mean, that's how the game's played, right? So if you wanted to see an instructional video, you go to the roof, see who overhits or mishits the ball. Juan was the first to sort of leave the ball up for Rudy. Rudy went for it, but you
13,
have to
14.
execute. He didn't, and Juan did, and now 13-14. A side out here means that Rudy Cruz wins game number 1.
Oh, it's a crucial point here. And he looks like he's going for the same strategy he did. And there it is.
Game.
Wow, and Rudy takes game number 1, 15-13 here at
Take
the
5.
big Memorial Championship in Tucson, Arizona on ESPN, as the Big Ball Men's Pros are on the semifinal show court where they will determine who goes to the finals. We have the finals coming up in the men's small ball later this afternoon. 4:30, I believe, is the kickoff time for Luis Moreno and his, the guy that Luis Moreno got defeated by, Killian Carroll.
Yeah, that guy's something else. I can't believe it.
And one of your buddies, Mondo Ortiz, that you see down in your area.
Wow.
I'd like to talk to you about Mondo quickly as we were right here in the middle of this timeout. He does play big ball, but has never had a breakthrough season, hasn't really beat that one big guy, but he's really talented, Sal.
I mean, he's something else. I haven't never seen a player like him, and his big ball game is great too. But I mean, his shot, his poise, everything he has is, I mean, it looks way nicer and it's really effective. I just think he needs to focus extra hard. And with the extra focus, I mean, nothing could stop him.
Right. But isn't it hard to just say, I'm going to turn the knob and all of a sudden focus now? When you've got a lifestyle, you know what your deficiency are. I mean, because out of all the players I've ever met, Mondo Ortiz knows exactly what he needs to do, and he seems like that's his biggest struggle is that he has to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, he has every tool that everyone would dream to have. But, I mean, he just needs to get over that struggle. And I mean, he beat Brady at that, over there in, was it Salt Lake?
Mm-hmm.
And to do something like that, not many people have done. And he definitely has the skills to beat everybody, I think.
Yeah, and his outdoor game is picked up. I mean, he hasn't had that really major breakthrough season yet, but he is close. And I know that you follow what's going on with the big ball game. It's Mondo Ortiz later this evening, as he will be going up against Killian Carroll, who kind of plays the same in a way. That great left hand, great back wall shot, kind of going for the kill, first strike, all that fun stuff. We're talking small ball, 4-wall here, but now. Ultimately, it's the big ball game that we're highlighting. You see one of the small ball semifinalists talking to the current big ball semifinalist.
What do you
Sean
think?
Lenny.
What do you think Sean's telling him right there?
Well, he probably said, "How are you feeling?" And Santos says, "Boy, it's hard to catch my breath." And Sean, "Hey, you're telling me I live here. I mean," and then. They probably just having that type of banter. I don't think it's anything about execution. A lot of people that are fans always think they're talking nuts and bolts and all that stuff, but they're not. They're just joking around about, Sean's trying to make sure that Juan stays loose and doesn't. And Sean doesn't want to get into Juan's head. He's not in there doing that.
Now, Juan, it seemed like they went back and forth almost with the same kind of strategy, the same kind of play, and he just fell 2 points short. Do you think that he's going to continue the same thing and try to just get it on this one?
No, I think what Juan does here is he says to himself, I could have had this if I would have executed my shots. When I went for a kill, I didn't get it. I left him up. This time I'm going to have to be a little bit more pinpoint, and I think he's going to go for it.
Now,
So
what do you
take
think?
the same exact approach, but now execute and go for your shot when you have it. You saw he had that front corner kill, and he missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to say, I need to tighten the ship a little bit here and now go down a couple 6 more inches because I'm clearly off my game. I'm not hitting 6 inches high or 3 inches high. I'm hitting 12 inches high. So now I'm going to go in there and just cut what I think in half, bring it down a little bit lower. If I skip in, I'm going to stay aggressive. I think you're going to see a different, more aggressive Juan Santos here.
Now, if you're Rudy, do you think keep the same game plan or just turn it up quite a bit?
No, I think you have to keep the same game plan because it obviously worked, but you're going to have to step up your emotions just a little bit. And see, these two players are just talking to each other. It's like no big deal. But ultimately, I think Rudy is going to go back up to the roof and just say, hey, I had some success here, and just keep pounding it to the ceiling and let him make the mistake.
A lot of players, I've seen it a million times, they get a little more humble. They get extra humble. I mean, they get a little relaxed because they got to win in, and that's where the major problem is.
Yeah, I mean, so you're talking about the ceiling game or the?
I mean, I think that he's going to, or I don't know what he's going to do, but a lot of players have got a one win the first game in, and they tend to relax a little bit. They may think like, oh, I got this,
Yeah.
And it plays against them. Instead of going, twice as hard.
So, okay, so here in game number 2, as we just about get ready to get the players back onto the court, this has been quite the extensive game number 2. As what you predicted, Rudy Cruz, who's playing just amazing handball right now, wins that first one.
And I mentioned it would be like 13-15, in which it was.
Yeah. In fact, they were just reporting that score that way. So you asked my opinion. What is Juan going to have to do here?
I think he definitely should not relax at all if he wants to win. That's a big problem that a lot of players have, and I've seen, including myself. When you win, you take one game and you kind of relax, or as I call it, rest.
Right. But isn't it hard to just say, I'm going to flip the switch up and make it work?
Yeah, it is. It's hard to do that when you've already won a game. It's hard to do that because you think you're fine. But you got to keep in mind that the other player is turning it up for sure because they just lost a game.
Well, we're sitting around waiting for these players to get on the court here.
I mean, they should be in on any minute now.
I'm not sure what is going on with the players and why there is a delay of the start of game number 2 here, but certainly they're not getting onto the court, and we don't see what's going on the court right now. It might be just a dead, empty court, which it is. So They're not waiting on that. Referee, we don't know where that referee is at this moment, but we're watching the Tucson Memorial event at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club alongside Sal Duenas. Sal, you've been playing handball for a very long time. You're one of the top players in the Southern California area. Small ball was something that you were introduced to as a young kid. I remember seeing a lot of results in the juniors where you won a junior national championship and you played 3-wall and 4-wall. You've done every form of small ball, and then you converted more or less full-time to big ball. I know you still cross over all the time, so your conversion isn't like completely 100%. But the game of big ball is what you play mainly. Is that because there's so much competition and that you get a better workout, or is it because it's a lot more inexpensive?
It's more convenient and accessible. When I was about 17, 18, I tried to go play indoors, and I'd have to get the gym membership, and then I'd have to reserve a court, and then I'd have to find some players to play me. And then if I did, I really wanted to play my best, and I wanted to, put $5 or $10 just to really push myself so I can get better. And they don't have that kind of environment in the small ball world here.
First game went to Rudy Cruz, 15-13, and now his counterpart, Juan Santos, finds himself here at the server's box, waiting for the referee to call the score.
We go. Service. 0, serve 0.
I definitely think Juan's going to tighten up really, really nicely here. Oh no, there's a grounder there. Rudy shoots it down the middle, and Juan fists underhand, looks like, for a re-kill, and just
serve 0.
skips that ball in. I do notice Juan doing a little more passing, and
wow.
Rudy's definitely shooting a lot more.
Yeah, being aggressive is being aggressive, but that was Rudy going for that right corner kill there, and it was unbelievable. That's what we expected to see from Juan Santos here.
Yeah, this is the game that I was telling you about yesterday. He's just having no mercy. He's not concerned about skipping it. He's just going for it.
Wow, this is a big back ball setup. See if Juan could put it away, and he doesn't. Rudy had the opportunity. He misses.
Wow. That's huge right there.
1 serving 2.
I do feel Rudy's a little more offensive. He's a little more, he's actually trying a little more to drop him.
Oh, that's a great shot.
Juan's mainly more defensive and recovering. See?
Yeah, and it's if, when I watch Rudy, I was thinking this guy probably doesn't know his way around a 4-wall court, and it's clear he does. I mean, his court positioning is great. He did this right here. He hits the ball in the spot that he needs to hit it.
Serving 1.
And sometimes you get into a different environment. You're like, I feel really insecure with my shot, and then you kind of are trying to aim.
Point.
And you see Juan Santos hits that nice little return kill, gets a point for the side out.
What it seems is like every 2 shots
2
that Juan makes,
3.
Rudy makes 3.
And the score is reflecting that. That's a good spot to put the ball in. A pretty good left hand there from Juan Santos.
And it all comes down to, who wants to take more risks. And Juan took one there. He killed to the right corner, and he was successful in doing so.
3 serving 3. Point. It's 4 serving 3.
Wow, it's bad
Side out.
left hand back wall miss from Juan there. To tied at 4.
4 serving 4.
Wow,
Point.
nice left hand overhand
Right
shot.
out.
Very nice
5
shot from
serving
Juan
4.
there. That-
Yeah, that's a really good shot.
Point.
Wow, another kill from Juan in the right corner. He might have just, you know, found his comfort zone here.
6 serving 4.
He's definitely tightening it up here. Nice back wall. Wow, another point.
And Rudy missed that. And now Santos starting to build a little bit of lead. But a 3-point lead in rally scoring is really not that much.
7 serving 4.
Rudy can get a side out and get one more point on the serve and be right back into this.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Wow.
A left-handed chop?
Out.
I haven't seen that one from anybody, really.
It's
So
something
nonchalant, too. We
very
haven't
rare.
even seen him ever do this. Look, whoop.
Wow.
That wrist action is amazing. I'd be calling a timeout, too, just to make sure that he doesn't remember how to do that again.
He's definitely trying to break the momentum there. It's a good, smart timeout.
Let's take a quick look at that one more
Wow.
time on replay. And I want you to see what Rudy is looking at.
And he meant to do that.
Yeah, watch where Rudy is looking when Juan hits that fish shot. Yeah, we'll look at Rudy's head here on the replay of that last little chisel, as Marco Chavez calls it, the overhand tomahawk.
Yeah, he definitely just snuck that in there, and wise shot. Like I mentioned, he's tightening up now. He's taking more risks. And
Yeah.
he continues this, 7 more points, and it'll be just about over.
Yeah, it'll be a tiebreaker. That was amazing. Really, actually, you know, it's with his left hand. Now watch Rudy Cruz. Here's
seconds.
Rudy hitting that ball there. And this is Juan Santos with a left-handed punch fist. Now watch Rudy's eyes. Okay, he's going to go to the roof. So I'm going to keep my eyes up and then whoop.
By the time he notices it, it was far, far gone.
Yeah, just out of the corner of his eye saying, okay, he's going to go up to the roof, so I'm going to stay right here in this spot.
And that shot Juan did was very reminiscent to Sean Lenny's style. You know, just something crazy.
Score is 8 serving 4.
And I noticed Juan's doing those deep serves so that at the last minute the ball changes angle when it hits the back to kind of throw you off there.
Point.
See, this is the Juan we know.
Yeah, because it looks like he's going to the left and he punches it right back down the right.
He's doing
9 serving
those
4.
long serves so that it kind of cracks out funny in the back. He switched it up there.
Well, they always do that right when you talk about their serves. And there's another point now, 10-4, and this is first strike of his is deadly.
Right when I mentioned about he's catching his
10
momentum, he
serving
got it.
4.
He found his comfort zone, and he's on a roll here.
Well, he found something with his serve here. You know, we're so used to being defensive with our left hands.
Look at that.
That's unbelievable. That's an overhand spike kill from Santos, which I didn't think he really had that shot even in an outdoor court from there.
It looked like Timbo was in there spiking it on the one wall.
I thought Rookie was out there for a minute.
Good strategic shot. He noticed the ceilings don't come back all the way to the top how most players would like them. Look at that.
Point.
And
Yeah.
Rudy's starting to talk to himself just a little bit.
I bet he's telling himself, you know, just relax and stuff. But Juan's really taking off here.
12 serving 4.
I mean, he's went off wildly here.
And it's because of that serve to the right.
Yeah, look, he's
Point.
found his spot already.
Well, what I was saying is that as handball players, your offhand usually is the one that learns how to become your defensive weapon.
13
You'd
serving
never
4.
have somebody actually try to say, well, how defensive are you with your good hand? And so Rudy is having to use his strong hand to be defensive, and he's not sharp.
Right.
He's either hitting the ball too hard on the ceiling or he's missing the location. It's checking up
13,
mid-court,
34.
and Santos is first striking.
The biggest problem is with your right is that you feel confident, and then you try to do a dumb shot from far away.
Side out.
Because you're like, oh, it's my right. I'm going to kill it from here. And it's a totally dumb shot, low percentage shot.
Your mind tells you don't want to run anymore, so you're
5
going to take a
serving
chance.
13.
And somehow those chances are always 2 to 3 inches short.
Look at that left. Whoa. Wow.
Point.
Good idea,
Side
but
out. .14 serving 5. 15. It's 3 minutes.
Well, there it is.
3.
Game 2 goes to Juan Santos. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have 3 minutes, and we'll be back for the tiebreaker right around the corner. Stick around here for Sal Duenas, Dave Vincent on ESPN3.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. You can use it straight out of the bottle on Tough Grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make multiple bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Our 3 minutes are up, and we're back into the court here. So our referee jumps back into it with Juan Santos serving in the tiebreaker. Excuse me, he got the side out there and gets that point. Wow, the underhand scoop gives him the point there. Do you see how he baited Rudy in to look like he was going to feather that down the right wall with an underhand flip, and then he punches it.
Yeah, he's known for that switch, the last-minute switch there. It looks like he's going to drop it, and he doesn't.
Big setup here for Rudy Cruz. Now he passes Juan, who's able to get it close, but not good enough.
Very
There's
similar shot that Juan did to him, kind of last-minute switch.
One serving 2.
Big check up here. Look at that inside-out shot. Wasn't fooled.
No.
No screen
No
call
screen
there.
calls are,
Yeah. You can sometimes tell when you see it.
Yeah.
And then also see where someone's screen where you agree that they allowed them to play. But that one was kind of obvious, right?
Yeah. But for the big ball guys, it has to be a really, really obvious screen for us, for it really to affect us. We're so used to playing so close together.
Right. A little bit different. And no arguing either. I mean, how can anybody beat that shot? No matter what you do. You have to be the fastest player on the planet and dive from about the dotted line, because it'll slow you down enough that you don't crack into the front wall and kill yourself.
Yeah.
You have to kind of dive early.
I see Juan taking some really risky shots here that I don't think he should be taking. Just cost him a point.
4.
You know, you don't want to be a little too fancy. You just want to get the job done. set up here. Nope.
That is frustrating.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little over accelerated. I think he's just a little too jumpy right now, Rudy. He relaxes. Like Juan definitely he's relaxing now. You know, he's playing real comfortable.
The way we kind of felt like we would see Juan start this, but he was very tentative. Now he looks like he's a man on a mission. And even though you see that score of 6-2, that's just a couple side outs from Rudy. Those aren't points.
Yeah, it could change right away.
Yeah. But Juan's really stepped it up here. Way more aggressive, no doubt about that.
And Rudy's lost that aggression that he was shooting a lot. Those first games he kept shooting. Look at that.
Rudy hit it as hard as he possibly could, and Juan Santos turned that into a flat rollout.
7 serving 2.
I mean, I would have taken the time right here, halfway.
But here's something to think about. This new Juan Santos we're seeing didn't become new until he talked to Sean Lenning. Maybe they weren't talking about the weather.
You know.
Really, it's been different since that meeting they had.
Could have just talked about how to weather the storm. I mean, Juan is definitely relaxed. So you could see him. He's at a different. I mean, he's 5-6 points away from finishing this. You know, he relaxed and he found himself. Rudy's still on the fence, trying to jump around and try to figure something out. He should have put that away. He got lucky there. I think that was an over, maybe?
No, he did say that he was screened.
Scores 3 serving.
Yeah, I see what he's saying there.
I could say it would be a screen.
Yeah, I can see what he's saying.
And he had his hand on the ball. He swung at it, and he still showed that he had effort. I mean, ability to get it.
Rudy looks like
he's in yoga class.
Wow, this is a good rally right here. There will be a timeout called after this, I think. It better be.
Wow.
Rudy should step in here. I didn't do it. Smart play.
He needs to definitely catch his breath after that. I would have just went for the drop there.
I like that shot right there from Rudy Cruz. See what Juan does. Flips it back to the front wall. Rudy underhand punches it.
Wow.
One heck of a rally. And will Rudy call a timeout here? And it is a timeout being called from Juan Santos. Both players called for a timeout. Who gets the timeout of record? That's the big question. That was a nice rally. That was ended on a kill shot from Juan Santos, but there was about 4 shots there, almost in concession, where Rudy could have stepped in and tried to go for a kill shot and didn't do it.
Right, and I think Juan is the one who initiated that timeout there.
Let's watch this replay.
That's where it all began. Great
now watch the feet up in the air. That was like sort of like a Mary Lou Retton thing.
I mean, the speed he has to get these balls is ridiculous. There, he barely gets that one.
That's where he should have put that ball down. Back to the roof, and then Rudy goes back to the roof again, which I find odd here.
Right here, I think he should have cut that
one
off.
No, this one's good. Yeah, I mean, he could have stepped in there. He was standing in the spot. This is the one where Rudy hit a really good shot. Now, right here, this is where he has the chance to take a step back and go for that right corner, and he goes back to the roof again.
Yeah. To me, that tells me he's kind of tired. He's catching his breath, so he's buying time with that ceiling shot.
Yeah. And players will try to recover by popping the ball to the ceiling. I mean, I've done it. But you could still recover really good by just taking one step
and finishing the rally
backwards and then rotate forward and hit that ball to the corner and just say, I'm going for 3 inches high, and if I miss it, I miss it. And he misses it anyway because Juan Santos kills it, but then Juan calls the timeout. So
it's going to be really tough for Rudy
9 serving 3
to advance here. But anything's possible. I mean, I've seen it and done it.
You've had it done against you, actually, at this court 3 years ago.
Yeah, versus Samson.
It was about this point. You're probably up about 10-2 and lost to Sam. So, and it hurts worse when that happens because then it feels like you can't do anything. A player comes back hard like that. That's a nice shot. And you're just looking for them to make one little mistake and you to actually convert. And
you're just waiting for it and it never happens.
And you're making good shots, but they're just tracking everything down. That's the frustrating part.
4 serving 9.
Now, I haven't seen one call in this whole event, any foot faults. Is that a new rule or?
No, just there's been 1,000 of them, but the referee hasn't called them. It seems to be sort of the new age way, and he dives in and gets that ball, and it's a point for Rudy Cruz now at 5-9, and he had to put everything in on that to get that ball to the front wall. And if we had that in slow-mo, which we do, you're going to see it here. Look at that nice, perfect shot.
5 serving 9.
Oh, shoot.
That's the one that take the air out of you, too. You saw he jumped and then dove. Kind of two different levels to that shot, and a nice little punch fist, and there's Rudy Cruz with his 6th point.
I think it's 7 for some. No, 6.
Rudy Orange Crush Cruz.
And he's in the game. I mean, he's fighting.
Well, he's not going away. Maybe that's another way of putting it.
Oh.
He's trying, though.
Point.
Yeah.
Side out.
That was a tough one there.
It was closer than I thought it was.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
He was just another hand length away from getting that back to the front wall. This elevation does play a little factor, don't you think? Do you feel it?
I kind of did feel it.
It's not extreme like.
It's not extreme. Like
that year that you're in Salt Lake.
Yes, that's what I was about to say right now.
5 points into your first match, you're like, I don't know if I want to play anymore.
Yeah, Salt Lake is definitely noticeable.
Scores 11, serving 6.
I went to the front desk in between games once there and said, could you turn on the air? And they go, it is on.
Yeah.
Do you have an oxygen button that you can push that makes... Uh-oh. Nice shot behind the back from Juan Santos.
Wow.
This is really good play right here.
There's that slide shot that he did once back in the first game, but it didn't quite come out here.
This could be a great camera angle.
That shorty did.
Yeah.
Score 7, serving 11.
Wow, watch this right here. Flip, just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the right spin, right? That ball carries on.
It would have carried on off the left wall.
Point.
And Rudy has to go back to himself, and he's going to call a timeout here. But Rudy has to say, that's the one single thing I'll remember all the way back home to my beautiful wife and my new baby. You have your shots, and then you go for those little 1-inch high kill shots, and you miss them, and you just are so upset with yourself.
And he's just 3 points away from, being knocked out of this semifinal position here. Now, would they play off for third, or is that
no, they wouldn't. Okay. But this is. I don't think at this event you really want to play third. There's so many games these guys are playing. It takes a long time to get here because of the crossover plays, playing small ball, and just there's so many rounds of handball. Yesterday, one player reported 20 games of handball and a total of 17 minutes off the court out of 20 games, and he said that included the timeouts and glove changes. He said, I've been on the court nonstop. Every time I get done, they say you're on court too.
Yeah,
because he played 4 different events and.
That was me yesterday in 3 events.
Kind of can't get more handball than that, right?
No, definitely. I had about 3 or 4 matches and about 15 minutes between them all.
Like, you keep hearing people say, oh, that's a young man's game. It's like, well, the only young man that can survive it, and even then they're not able to survive it. That's why you see 15-point games, to make it a little bit easier. And there's another point now for Juan Santos, who's just 2 points away now from advancing to the finals, his first ever finals.
Wow.
Here in this 4-wall event in Tucson, which has been holding this big ball pro event for quite some time now. This is the number 2 seed, Juan Santos. Oh no, that's going to go way back to the front. No, that went out.
Is that a replay here?
It shouldn't be under it, but it is. Because now Rudy Cruz is going to be penalized because he had a huge setup, and it's just the way it is. It's a replay here unless it was otherwise specified.
And it wasn't specified. If it goes out of the court, it's a replay.
That's true. It's just the way it is here. It's like house rules. But if it were specified ahead of time that if it went out, it wasn't a replay, then it wouldn't be.
I need to get some more information. I replay the balls that come outside of the court.
And I agree with the referee, and if there was a way to get the ref to hear what I'm saying, it's in a
interball or something.
It's an agreement.
I agree it's a replay because there are some courts that don't have the opening, which it would be a valid
replay.
Right.
The score is 13, serving 7.
At Simple Green, at the
Hold it. Hold the ball.
at the U.S. Open, they are replays, right?
Yeah. It's
So-
replays everywhere in handball.
So if you hit it out there 5 times in a row, they're all replayed?
They are, but see, then that's where we start to say.
Is it a penalty or something?
No, we start seeing that the players are
Intentionally
doing it so they get back to the server's box. And so once we see that there's a pattern there, we just say if a ball goes out, it's side out.
Oh, so it can change.
We can make the change if we see it, but there's never a problem here. It's not a problem. That's just always been a replay at this club. It's so high that you can't. You'd have to look at how wide the hole is.
Point.
Sal, from where we're standing, it's only like 11 inches opening.
You think if you can hit it there, they should be awarded a
Yeah,
point.
they should drop confetti. I mean, it's almost impossible to do that. So it's not like you're trying to do it for your advantage. And clearly he wasn't trying to do that as an advantage. But other
Scores
players
8, serving
that are
13.
serving would hit a fish shot to the ceiling to force it to go out so they can go back into the server's box again because they didn't like the way the rally was going.
Or they didn't like their serve, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with someone who has a great serve like Nadi or, you know, someone like with a ridiculous serve.
Oh,
yes, but I'm not naming names.
Hinder ball.
Yeah, let's not mention any names. I think that was a valid hinder.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball wasn't dead or
Contact,
anything.
yeah.
But, of course, Rudy hates that call right now.
Scores 8, serving 13.
But it was a hinder because, you know, Juan had a chance to get his hand out. Rudy's still talking.
Yeah, he's really and the smart thing would be to just wash that out of your mind right now, and it's in his position.
And regardless of the outcome, Rudy Cruz has played one heck of a tournament.
Definitely. He's proven that he's, you know, definitely a competitor here.
Let's see who can miss the ceiling shot first.
I think Rudy will miss it right here. No. Hangs on.
Actually, that's a great shot.
Uh-oh. There
Santos
it is.
hit the perfect ceiling shot.
That one that's about a foot higher than you can leap.
Yeah.
He just
Side out.
now with the doubles, big ball,
14,
be
serving
featured
8.
here, or
Right up next, yeah. And are you playing next up in yours?
I'm not. I believe so. I'm
yeah,
not
so
sure.
you're going to go from the broadcast booth where you're talking about your own doubles partner in such a negative way, and then you'll be playing with your doubles partner against a guy from Ireland that's never played pig ball before and a guy from
Scores 9,
New
serving
York.
14.
And I know that this could be over on this next serve, but I want to tell you this. How strange is it sometimes when someone has never played before how good they are on their first time out?
It's extremely strange, and it
Replay the ball. Screen.
reminded me of the first year Timbo went out to Vegas and walked through
Boxer
25,
and
yeah,
some-
25 of our top players,
Scores 9, serving 14.
and was still looking for pickup games afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
like-
was his first time out there, and you know.
Oh, wow. Overhand splat spike from Rudy Crush Cruz.
Wow.
That was amazing.
That shot was something else.
But, you know,
Scores
you
10,
see somebody that's never played the
14.
game, so they don't know how to hit the ball. So they're just making up shots that you've never seen before. And it's wild and crazy.
It works against you. 'Cause
Yeah.
You don't really know what to expect.
Because you've gone to play the game, you know, hundreds of times, thousands of times.
The only
and you
experience-
know where a player's going to hit the ball. You
Yeah,
just
they
know
don't-
they have to execute. Now they're all of a sudden hitting it totally opposite with a fist and things that you don't even see ever.
There's the game there.
So you're going to have to put up with that in the next one. And the game does go to Juan Santos as he wins 15-10. And it was inevitable.
Yeah, the
And-
only experience I have is with John Iglesias is a couple years back when we played in the final there with Shorty. When he came late to the game, remember? He showed up late. And, you know, we'll see how he feels now.
Well, that'll be coming up after this one. But this one isn't over with. We still have a tiebreaker, don't we? I mean, we had Rudy win. We had Juan Santos. He comes back and gets game number 2 fairly easy, and then that one was like a little bitter battle there in the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And so Santos takes it, and he's going to advance to the finals. Let's go to Karamak, who's with Juan Santos now right outside the door.
We're going to make you play a tiebreaker all over again here.
Oh, no.
You know, you lost that first game. What did you do to come back in the second and the third? What were you telling yourself before that second one?
No, I was a little bit stiff from all the games I played yesterday, so started kind of slow. I had a couple of shots that I could have put away, but I was aiming too high. So when I came in the second game, I had the mentality that every shot I had to put away. So that's what I tried to do, and it worked out.
What was Cruz doing well this game?
He was just running all my shots, and every setup he had from the back wall, and he was putting it away. So I try to not give him too many setups.
How does it feel going to the finals?
No, it feels good. previous years I had a little trouble with the four wall, but this year I've been practicing a little bit more, and I feel a little bit better with the back wall than previous years.
How do you think you've improved with that four wall? What have you done?
I just been I played a little bit more four wall before this tournament. Just try to work on the back wall and just, get it back in play and try to kill the ball from the back wall.
Ultimately, do you still like playing three wall better?
Yes, that's definitely my forte.
So when you have that extra time on your hands and you get your choice of three wall or four wall, is it hard to say I need to spend more time on the four wall?
Well, there's not many four wall tournaments, so this is the only four wall tournament during the year. So after Simple Green, I try to play more four wall, try to get ready for this tournament.
You have another match coming up later today. What are you going to do in order to prepare to know that you have to come out strong?
I'm just gonna try to put every shot I have, try to kill it, and try not to give too many setups from the back wall.
Knowing that's also four wall, how is that different with four wall doubles versus three wall?
In four wall doubles, you gotta make sure you put the ball away because you got both of your opponents right there. So if you don't kill the ball, they're gonna re-kill it.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Kara. There he is. Juan Santos. Now, when Kara says you have a match later today, it's really like later 5 minutes from now because he's back on the court right now in a semifinals clash that finds he and our broadcast partner here, Sal Duenas, going onto the court against Jonathan Iglesias from New York, a one-wall big ball player converted to four-wall small ball, and Stephen Cooney, who's never played this sport before, crossing over, and now they're going to go and battle against the pros here on this show court coming up next on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. We're going to take a break for Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Ben Garrad, Kara Mack, and Matt Titano. My name is Dave Vincent. I want to thank Sal Duenas for stepping into the booth here. And now he'll get ready to referee. We'll have I'd say about a 10-minute break, and we'll be back with that action from the Tucson Memorial here in Tucson, Arizona at race48.com. But we're streaming with the video player embedded in at ESPN3. That's the channel, and it's on the Watch ESPN app. We'll be back. Stay here.